Hey guys, so I have played Overwatch since beta and the game has never, even at its worst point, felt as absolutely horrific as it does now with Overwatch 2. Don't get me wrong though, I have enjoyed this game and sunk in literally thousands of hours over the years and was consistently diamond in support and open queue for literally years. We don't talk about DPS or tank though. So this video is not meant as hate. Hell, I even had a video with almost 2,000 loot boxes. I'd never published it though because I'm like, I don't know if that'd be interesting, but you heard me right. Almost 2,000 loot boxes to open, and the amount of credits I have in game now is insane. For the record, I've only bought over the entire 6-year span of this game like $20 of loot boxes during the first Halloween event. Imagine actually getting rewarded for playing the game. That sounds insane, right? Well, in Overwatch 2 it would be insane, but we'll talk about that in a later point. What I'm trying to get at though is, having played Overwatch 2 for at least 40 hours the past few days, I'm feeling like this might be the point that I have to seek out other games to scratch the itch, the FPS game itch. Oh god, am I going back to Call of Duty? Maybe I'm going to League of Legends? Oh god. Point is, that's on my mind right now. So first impressions were obviously server issues, which means so little to me in my thoughts that I am glazing over it to only state that it has no bearing on what I'm talking about here. This isn't why I feel the way I do about the game. Welcome to literally any video game launch where server issues happen and there are slight bugs. There's a queue when a game is launched. Holy shit, imagine that. Whoa, dude, I'm freaking tripping. There's a queue on a new game. It's obviously inconvenient, guys, but that's what happens whenever you launch anything and that there's a lot of people wanting in. It's like going to a very famous restaurant and not having a reservation. You are probably gonna never get in that restaurant, or you're gonna have to wait outside for a long time. So what I'm getting at here is the problems I have are the intentional long-term design decisions that I find absolutely terrifying. I have no idea who in leadership actually decided to do this. Obviously the devs I love. They are definitely people I support fully, but I'm talking about the people at the top that actually thought these long-term design decisions were a good idea. No, these are really bad. So the first legit problem I have is the erasure of my competitive data, and why no one is talking about this is kind of freaking me out. Where are my other seasons of competitive data? Why do I only have access to 31 through 36 in the current one? That's gonna be like 6 years of competitive data. 6 years of me playing this game, this alleged esport, if you can call it that after everything. But that has been a very long time. How I found this out was I actually in this video was going to show literally years of being diamond in solo support and solo open queue. To my absolute shock, that data is actually gone. I know I have a recording of my competitive data from a year ago on some random hard drive, but this is really horrible. Now, second off, let's talk about the reward structure, and I'm not going to go into too much specific detail here, but the battle pass is something that many people aren't a fan of. I personally am not bothered by it and almost always get to complete any battle pass that I get. My problem here is the entire reward structure has been moved into this battle pass. You don't gain levels of experience anymore. That gives you a box to open for random loot, as the loot box system was I earned my loot boxes from playing the game. I did arcade matches for the 3 loot boxes per week. I did my daily loot box roll fill, better known as playing tanky quick play every day. I got my endorsement loot boxes. That's how I got those almost 2,000 loot boxes. I didn't spend over the years more than the $20 during that first Halloween event because I really wanted a particular skin. That was it, which I presume was a problem Blizzard had. Actually being able to progress without dumping money into the game. Imagine earning rewards for actually playing a game loyally for years. Disgusting, right? What kind of idiot would do that in a game? But the reward structure now, if you want to be free to play, gives you pretty much garbage. I'm not going to mince words. It's garbage. These rewards are so bad that if I was leadership at Blizzard, I would genuinely feel bad about launching this game with this. This is your incentive to keep players playing and to grind out. I'd say, respectfully, that you're out of touch, but that would be a lie. You are in a completely different dimension, light years away from anything even close to basic fundamental gamification and reward structure. This isn't a dopamine drip. This is an at face value middle finger to free-to-play players. Don't insult anyone saying that's not what that is, because, or that's not what was intended, because no one who has played a video game for any amount of time could find this an acceptable reward structure for anyone, free to play or not. Now, the Battle Pass rewards, which I do have unlocked, are also horrible. I get a lot of people love Genji. Apparently Blizzard needs to hear this though. Not everyone plays Genji. Other roles than DPS exist. I am shocked that I need to inform Blizzard this. You guys have been making this kind of game before I was freaking born. What? This is the pinnacle of the leadership making design decisions being out in goddamn Narnia. The one single character gets an extremely premium skin, and that's for a character that is in all regards also overpowered in game. I'm going to be talking about balance briefly here, actually. The removal of pretty much all crowd control in this game lets Genji have free reign. So obviously a cash grab from a balance perspective, in my opinion. It's very, very clear. Genji is everywhere in mid gold and above, because what happened was apparently they put like diamond players in gold, and it's a mess. But Genji is everywhere in mid gold and above in mirror matchups most of the time. I am literally throwing if I pick something other than Lucio, because that's the only way to protect the team from Nanoblade now, and Genji feeds on Zenyatta, so that's not really an option. A good Genji will absolutely dive and pick off a Zenyatta regardless of how good the Zenyatta is. It's like, unless you get a Discord orb on him and headshot him twice, you're pretty much screwed. But the balance is so currently out of sorts. Genji is currently flat out distorting the game. Widowmaker 2, because one less tank lets a good Widow go uncontested, but balance right now is a total disaster. Back to the rewards briefly again. As a player who is willing to do battle passes, who bought the battle pass, there is no incentive for me to complete that battle pass. A more frugal, more logical me would not want, or just would not have bought the battle pass. It has nothing for me. There are no rewards in this that I want, and I do play a ton of heroes. So this end reward is a cool skin for players that play Genji, and an absolute middle finger towards any other player, and that's what this skin looks like to me and many others. Why is it explicitly one hero in a game that prided itself at launch for its diversity of cast? Even Hearthstone, and yeah, we're getting into Hearthstone with its own battle pass, but even Hearthstone is letting you choose at the end of its battle pass a set of multiple different hero portraits. Why can't I have this sort of option for something to choose? Heck, even one for each role would be better, because not everyone plays every role. So why can't you have an option for like Baptiste or Brigitte, or if you look for tanks, Sigma, Anna? Hell, I play most heroes. I'll circle in red here. There's nothing for me in here. That's bad design. That's not rewarding. Who actually thought this was a good idea? People may say I'm nitpicking on the battle pass. It's just the battle pass, bro, calm down. But you are wrong. The entire game reward structure is baked into this battle pass. This is the entire grind of Overwatch now. So now I'm gonna ask, where are the reward structures? Where are the incentives to keep the players feeling rewarded and engaged in the game? Why would I ever log in and do arcade at this point? Oh great, I just get 500 more battle points daily for a flex roll queue. What happens? And this is a question that Hearthstone answered. They'll give you a little bit of gold at the end recurring. What happens at the end of the battle pass when I'm past 80? Has no developer at Blizzard thought of that? What happens after 80? Am I just stupid? What happens after 80? Got my Genji skin? Do I just have no reason to play? This was never a question that we asked in Overwatch 1. Not once. This battle pass? That's the entire grind of Overwatch now. Welcome. Compared to the loot box system, which I think was predatory from a monetization perspective, but I thought was very, very good in terms of actual game engagement, it's just meh. It's just bad, actually. Not even meh, it's bad. Now, my third point is the fundamental game itself isn't fun anymore, and I realize many will disagree, and that's fine, but my perspective as a support main is this 5 versus 5 with the removal of a tank feels tragically bad. I have been left alone on the payload as everyone rushes forward more often than not. Tanks are acting more like DPS than ever before, and I've been left with zero peel, no one helping me out as I get dove on. Widowmaker and Hanzo sniped. They basically get free reign at this point, and I genuinely feel like my only purpose as a support is to quite literally be fodder to die. Or as discussed before, I'm literally just a Lucio ultimate trying to save my team from dying to a Nanoblade Genji in game now, devoid of any form of crowd control, so I am literally the one thing stopping us from dying to that. I'll say it, if Brigitte with her knockbacks and shield didn't exist, or if I wasn't as good as I am on Lucio with moving around corners and speeding around, I'd probably genuinely have quit days ago. I'm not even talking about the Qs, because I actually got past the Qs just fine. I would have probably genuinely quit from the gameplay perspective. People ask me to play Ana still, and I'm left in a bit of a guffaw, because yes, I have an easier time landing my anti-healing nade for sure, but if their team has any sort of competent DPS or dive tank like Winston, who is very popular right now by the way, frankly, I get wiped on Ana. My team does not turn back and help me. You can say, well, that's just a bad team. Diamond players would put into gold, I'm mid gold. It's just not happening. With the one less tank, I feel more fragile than ever. And people will be like, oh, but you have Sleep Dart. Sleep Dart is like putting a spray bottle against a roaring fire. It helps, but it at the end does nothing. Especially with a lot of the teammates that make them right. Good God, it's happened over and over again now. What I'm getting at here is 5 versus 5 has made support feel awful. That's why Q times are abysmal at all times of the day for tank and DPS, even with the release of Baptiste 2.0, which I mean Kiriko, who is in most ways simply an upgraded Baptiste. That's the truth. Sorry. That's literally what she is. But I wonder, where are the mitigation or barrier healers, or ones that place a barrier on health or armor on health? Has Blizzard truly run out of ideas on healers? She feels generic. I feel like I've been there, done that for years on Overwatch 1, but that's an aside. To be clear too, I love the character, I love her lore, but the in-game kit is meh. I want something new and refreshing, and after waiting this many years for Overwatch 2, I don't think I'm a prick for thinking that. We didn't even get our third beta to play Kiriko. Like, it's that bad. And I feel that they delayed that intentionally because they knew support queues were going to be so bad. So they're like, oh, we better keep Kiriko for this so that our launch day support queues aren't completely dead. Well, meh. After waiting this many literal years for a support hero, I expected better. Matchmaking is 0.4 and it's totally imbalanced. Being diamond on support for years, I am very sensitive to the balance of matchmaking, and it's completely off in Overwatch 2. The enemy team will often have someone playing way beyond diamond level. Sometimes my team will have that is on it as well, which also feels bad because it's like, okay, I'm basically doing nothing. I'm literally just standing on a payload and it's just moving. It's not fun. Sometimes either team will have someone that respectfully should not be in competitive as well. Like on the opposite side, like really bad, where my back is breaking from trying to carry them. But there are other games where I'm quite literally outdamaging the enemy team, the whole enemy team, as freaking Lucio. And I'm not exaggerating, is the scary thing here. That should never happen. The matchmaking is completely, utterly broken. Which summarizes, and you can combine it with the other points if you want, Overwatch 2, it's just not fun right now. And that's the problem above what stupid rank I have. I am playing a video game. It's not fun. I haven't had much fun at all. I have enjoyed a little bit of Sombra. That was interesting. But overall, trying to play this, and I was enjoying it last week. People saw me playing it a little bit last week, even when I was on my freaking, like, whatever. But it's been, in Overwatch 2, an extremely frustrating experience compared to before. I've had swingy matches before, I've had bad teammates before, but this has been extreme. And I do realize they wanted to do some massive ranked reset for some integrity thing. Whatever. Blizzard girl. Integrity from you is a lot. But at the end of the day, I am here to play a game for fun, and when your games are either a crushing victory or a crushing defeat, they aren't fun to play. That's a problem. In the 40 hours or whatever I've already put into Overwatch 2, I can tell you wholeheartedly, earnestly, genuinely, that I have had less than 10 matches that I have felt were even, balanced, and fair. Probably less than 5 if I'm being honest, but I want to say 10 because I don't think anyone will believe me if I say 5. It has been so few, and that's over 40 hours, and I think that's more than enough time to make this video. So Overwatch 2 is honestly a worse Overwatch 1. So Overwatch 2 is honestly, and I don't say this with malice, I say this as someone who has played thousands of hours of it over the years, it is a worse Overwatch 1. Sure, the shiny and new, the branding, the Twitch streamers, the clout, the super sparkly new heroes and the rest has their appeal. But underneath that shine, it's quite literally just a worse Overwatch 1. It is less of a game than what I was playing a week ago. Worse rewards, worse matchmaking, worse balance, loss of my 6 years of competitive esport data as I was editing this video. I'm feeling like it's time for me to go back to Call of Duty or League of Legends. While that's not perfect, I feel like I've had quite enough of Overwatch 2 already, and it hasn't even been a week. It is in all ways an inferior Overwatch to what I played a week ago.